Alright, so I'm back, and today we're going to be taking a look at the next of the TFC Seacons. This is Deathclaw. Not. I always have a hard time with his name. Not a later. you guys know what I'm talking about. The lobster guy. So he does come with the gun, a big gun here. We can open this up, fold this out, and it's got a huge barrel to it, whichever you prefer. Kind of looks like a lobster claw, so that's kind of cool. And it comes with these two swords here. No place to really store them in the beast mode, but you know, you get what you take what you can get here. Now, like a lot of them, there's just one aspect of the transformation I just can't seem to figure out, even with instructions. All the pictures make it look like this mouth closes up a lot closer, but I can't seem to get it anywhere closer than that. So I don't know if maybe I'm just doing something wrong, or if everyone has that same issue. I just can't seem to get this to collapse any better. So it's like I can get this lower, but that means it has to pull forward, and if it pulls forward, then this is too far back. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. So anyway, Poseability here. Nothing on the tail. Each leg here is attached by a ball joint, and then there's a hinge right by the ball joint, so you get the rotation up and down, and the hinge in and out. Hinge right here at the knee, and hinge at each one of the toes. So good range of motion for those. I prefer the hinges than the ball joints on this because that at least gives it a little bit extra stability. So you might be able to get it to stand, but that would be tricky. Yeah, so there you go. Looking at this port here, that'll make me realize you probably could store this here. No, not really. Okay. The antenna here they are on ball joints, so they do move around. Shoulders here, swivel, ratchets there, ratchets in and out. There's a swivel here. I can't tell if that's a hinge here. Looks like there's a hinge there, doesn't it? Yeah, there's a hinge here, ratcheted hinge here, swivel right above it, another hinge here, and then the claw is on, this one's on a hinge here with a ball joint here, so you get good range of motion there, and then this one is on a ball joint here and a hinge here, so, and then this also does hinge as well, so you get tons of articulations in those arms, pretty much everything you might need with those. So yeah, all in all, I think it works. So let's get them transformed into robot mode, shall we? So what we want to do here is let's start pulling these legs down. Just they're supposed to tab into these little slots there by these tabs here, but they have a tendency of popping out. So don't be too upset about that. Undo these tabs here. They do kind of like to get in there pretty good. There we go. So they're on this double hinge system here, and the way when you transform it over into beast mode, what you want to do is you don't want it straight because it won't connect in if it's straight. You actually want to get it so that this hinge is going straight up and down as opposed to laying flat, and then so it goes forward, and then you can lay it down like that, and then it will tab in to this tab. This tab here plugs into that hole there. So if you have it straight, it won't work, but if you do it that way, it will. So tab those in there. We might not want to do that just yet, though. So then next up we'll untab the feet from here and here. Like that. Split the legs like that. Collapse this in, and then you want to untab this section here. This will come down and just kind of keep it out of the way. So, like that. And then this will get this assembly down like this. And then I'm just trying to remember where that hinges. Alright, so this hinges up here, so then you fold that out, and then you can rotate the leg around. Just like that. And then this will come around here like this. Fold that in, comes around, down, and up, like that, and in. I think I did that poorly. Let's do it again on this side. So, open that up, extend the leg down, fold this in, rotate down, or no, rotate this up, down, like that, so it's straight, collapse this in, just like that. This will here will then go up. Tab there goes in that slot there, so just like that. Then we want to take this assembly here, and you can see it's on a hinge here and a ball joint here, and you want to get it over to this side here. Straighten the foot out. Then you take these legs, and this will fold around, and this little tab here will fit into this groove here. So that groove, or that tab, that groove. Rotate the legs around and around, and they just lay up against the side there. And then again, rotate the leg around and around. And there you have one foot done. And then you can angle that however you want to. That's going to be its knee pad. So same thing over here. So we fold this around like this. Rotate the foot forward. This will rotate around. Rotate the leg. Rotate the leg. Rotate the leg. Rotate the leg. And then straighten everything out. And there we have his legs done. So, little time consuming. I'd put it as time consuming, not difficult or frustrating. Little clearance issue with rotating the whole leg down. That's the only real issue I'd have there. So rotate the arms around like this, and then what you want to do here is you take this bottom claw, rotates around, claps like that. Take the big claw, that'll rotate around. This will unhinge here, and then it's on a double hinge assembly here. So you collapse that in like that. This will close up just like so. Same thing on this side. So rotate, rotate, open, hinge it down, collapse. Alright, now we can take the back piece here, and this will rotate back. We can turn it around, and this can just sit. It untabs, and this gets frustrating because, like, even in the instructions, it says to untab it, but getting it back in. I wonder if this ball joint maybe just needs to get rotated, and that's why I was having trouble with that jaw. Let's try that real quick, shall we? that's still pretty wide open. Try it this way. I don't think that's any better, really. I don't think it helps at all. So, anyway, rotate this down, fold these up, just like that. Take this assembly here, and it comes down. We might actually have to, yeah, the whole assembly will come up. Rotate the head around. This will come down. This comes down like this. Rotate this around. Collapse this in. Like that. And this is the part where I cannot get it to work without something falling off. Let's see if it'll fall off this time. So you want to take the shoulder pad and it rotates around and then it becomes a shoulder pad. The problem is that this ball joint is on a slight hinge. So when you rotate it, it wants to pop off. Okay, I got one. Let's see if we can do the other one. Oh. See, it's at this slight angle, which means it's not really flush. So, yeah. There we go. And that is our boy in robot mode. And yeah, he looks really cool. I like the way he looks. Of course, the swords. Let's see. Oh no! Oh no! Okay. You can hold it in that hand. Let's try this again here. Okay, yeah. You just kind of have to go into it at kind of an angle. So he can hold his swords. You can take his gun here. Let's see if he can hold his gun. Yeah, not really. Move this up and out of the way. Then he can hold his gun, I'm sure. Yeah. So you just gotta watch out for this claw here. It's kind of just move out of the way. But then he can hold his gun just fine. Poseability on this bad boy. Head is on the ball joint, so you get the left, right, up, pretty good down, and a good up. There's also a hinge in there, so that probably helps it out a lot. But yeah, he gets a good down and a good all the way up. He can, like he's swimming or flying. So that's cool. Shoulder pads are on a hinge here and a ball joint here, so they can get up and out of the way. Arms rotate all the way around. It does get caught up a little bit, but you can manipulate it and get it out. In and out, double bend elbows, so it gets a good range of motion there. This is really tight hinge there, but it does work. And then there's that bicep swivel, or that elbow swivel, I guess. Wrist swivel, waist swivel, hips ratchet up and back, in and out, bends at the knee, and then the foot is on the ball joint on a hinge, and then the toes on a ball joint and a hinge, so you get a good range of motion with those feet. You just have to kind of be mindful of his lobster legs kind of moving around on you. Alright, so comparison wise, here he is with MP Car and MP10. See how he looks there. Scale's pretty good there, I would say. And then here he is with his the other troops. We got Snap Trap there. And Scalor. can't remember his name. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, I think they all look pretty good. Obviously, Scale or so far is kind of the odd one out, color-wise. But that kind of changes up when we get to what's his name, the Tentakill. But yeah, as of right now, you got the green going across all, and he's the only one with the blue and the pink. So you got the green. No, I was wrong. I'm wrong. Snaptrap's got the pink too. So it's kind of cool how the colors break up. Yet they still all match pretty well. I'd say his lobster mode has a little bit of weakness with the head. That might be user error, but I cannot figure out how to get it closer, that mouth closer together. I've read the instructions like 3 times. They're not the greatest, but I just can't seem to figure it out. And as for the robot mode, he's awesome. I love it. I think he looks cool. Definitely, I mean, he's got this badass presence to him. And yeah, he just... I love the way this team looks. So, they just have this presence about them. Like, the more you get, the better it looks. So yeah, that is not a later. I'm going to give him a 8 out of 10. The lobster mode could have been done a little bit better with the head. I don't like how the instructions tell you, and this might be part of the problem, is the fact that the instructions tell you to take the head off and then transform him. And, you know, I don't like the parts for him, especially if it's going in the same part. Now, you can take the head off and plug it into his forearm for shield, but the thing is on such a tight ball joint that it's such a pain in the ass. It's kind of like the same with him and him. There is a section of the tails that you can pull off, and like this whole section, you know, the whole tail essentially will unplug, and you can plug it into his hand, sort of, and that is supposed to make some sort of weapon for him. So it's kind of like more like a play feature, but I'm not a huge fan of it at all. So I would have preferred a more solid joint for those than that. But anyway, yeah, 8 out of 10. I think he's pretty cool. Definitely, I would say, I'll give him a 9 out of 10. I'll actually say he's one of the ones that I'd say he's worth buying on his own. He's got that gap there, but that's for the combined mode. But I definitely, you know, he's got this presence to him that just sets him apart from like him, but puts him in the same category as these two, where it's just like they are just that cool. And he looks great too, don't get me wrong. But anyway, we'll get into more of the whole team later on.